Hi everyone. So we are almost over with the ancient criticism. In the next lecture, I'll be moving towards Philip Sidney, that is a Renaissance period. Today, we are going to discuss Cassius Longinus, the author of the Sublime. And there is a certain kind of mystery around the authorship of this particular, epistolary treatise on criticism that is on the Sublime, but that is not our lookout. We are just going to discuss the main concepts discussed in this particular uh, treatise known as, or the treatise, the way, however you are going to pronounce it, on the Sublime. So let us see what he has written. So I'm going to present it to you. Okay, so basically, this is the guy, the Cassius Longinus. Okay, all I have, which are available on the internet, the bust. I showed you a bust of Plato. There are so varied kinds of pronunciation available over the internet. I showed you a bust of Aristotle, and now we have Longinus. So this is the guy. Uh, he came up with this thing on the Sublime, and according to Longinus, what is sublime? A sublime is something, a particular aesthetic quality present in a work of art, that is of literature, poetry, tragedy, uh, which makes you connect with something more powerful, something more beautiful. Are you trying to get it? Are you getting it? Okay, so basically, it transports you to a new dimension. It transports you to a better place, and it elevates your thoughts. So literature is not only something which teaches and delights, but also it makes you a better human being with refined thoughts of the soul. So basically, sublimity refers to the loftiness of thought and excellence of language, and lastly, the greatness of mind. Just refer to this particular poem, Seven Ages of Man, where William Shakespeare speaks about the universal, aging process, universal stages of a particular man. As you like it, Seven Ages of Man. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. It's a very simple language, but it does connect you with the universal aspect, and while connecting it, it makes you feel a part of the bigger cosmos. Yes, that is the beauty of sublimity. Now, while defining sublimity, or what is sublime, he tries to differentiate between good writing and the great writing, and he comes up with few points regarding sublime, how to reach this sublime effect in a particular piece of literature or art. So let us see what are these things. So how to reach the stage of sublimity? The first thing first, grandeur of thoughts means the thinking should be a top notch, a quality thinking. You can, for example, Paradise Lost. Okay, for example, uh, the famous epics. I'm not referring to Homer or something like that. You can always refer to the Mahabharata, because Longinus said Homer was not a brave person, not a brave poet. That's a different area of discussion. We'll go to that later on. Apart from grandeur of thought, there should be, the diction should be noble. Means there should be good rhythm, there should be good rhyme, use of proper words. That's very important. Means you cannot just use some words because you have come up with vocabs, you have read multiple antonyms, synonyms in your GRE TOEFL books. No, you cannot use them anywhere and just go up to a sentence and bang it over there. No, you can't do that. It should be contextual, it should be proper, and at the same time it should be simple. So all the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. In also Milton's Paradise Lost, it's better to rule in hell than to serve in heaven. It's a simple thing, but think about the authorship, think about the brevity of the soul, think about the power of leadership in these two particular sentence. It's better to rule in hell than to serve in heaven. Now the next thing is, a writing should invoke proper emotion and of course passion guided in the proper way. It should it should make the person emotionally strong, so strong emotion should be portrayed while writing. I'll give you a very simple example. There are many retelling of the epics. For example, Indian epics like the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and other divine stuff has been are getting retold in this modern era. For example, Amish Tripathi has been working with Ramayana, and there are some people who has worked with Mahabharata. So I'll take two examples. Amish Tripathi's books, that is if the Melua trilogy, the Shiva trilogy, also the Ramchandra series. And I'll take one example of Chitra Banerjee Divukarani's The Palace of Illusion. In the former one, you will feel really, oh guy, this guy is taking up all the ancient subjects and putting up in a modern situation, not in a modern age, modern situation, giving them weapons, a proper reasoning, scientific stuff. This is really interesting. He's making the plot line really interesting. You'll enjoy like it. This stuff is really good. But while you read The Palace of Illusion by Chitra Banerjee Divokarani, you will enjoy the subtleness, the beauty of the language. She uses simple language. She comes up with simple reasoning, and the way she portrays the character of Draupadi, because we know the character of Draupadi is very strong, but Banerjee gives it very human touch, very simplistic, postmodern woman. Why postmodern woman? Every male and female can relate to her feelings, the way, because uh, the way she talks with Krishna, and Krishna is not only a god in this particular Palace of Illusion. He has been referred to as a great friend. So that's why there's a beautiful relationship between Krishna and Draupadi that has been portrayed in Palace of Illusions. And in the movie Anand, they says comedies like Fulchadi and the tragedies like Agarbatti. Once this agarbatti goes out, the smell, the aroma, it still remains within the four walls for a longer period of time. Yes, that's the beauty of Chitra Banerjee Divakarani's The Palace of Illusion. It stays in your mind, and you'd like to go back to this particular novel again and again. And with each reading, the layer comes up. It's like a layer of an onion. So with each layer, some new thoughts, some new possibilities are being, infused within the mind of the readers. And without any kind of, loud stuff, it's very subtle. It's always there. It's like a wine. It's like the aftertaste of the wine, not the cheap beer which comes up with a buzz. Are you getting it? So that's the beauty of good writing and great writing. And also the writing which can invoke some kind of emotion and strong passion. And the last thing is, which Longinus speaks, is the use of figure of thoughts and use of figure of speech. For example, simile, metaphor, irony, alliteration, assonance. So these are the things which, according to Longinus, makes a particular writing a great writing, and it provides, it gives something more than intellect. It gives something more than beauty. It gives something more than a combination of intellect and beauty. It just transport you to a higher ground, to a higher world. And he also tries to make a difference between artificial, that is a false sublime, and the natural sublime. Now, how to reach a natural sublime, I've just told you. That's the grandeur of thought, noble diction, use of proper contextual words, strong passions and emotions, and lastly, the figure of speech. And what are the use of how to achieve or not, how to differentiate between false sublime or the artificial sublime and the natural sublime? A writer is going to use bombastic words, which doesn't fit and it just only sounds great, but when you read, oh man, this is so out of context, it doesn't fit. Immature or childish thoughts or plot lines, lack of style, there is no there is no what should I say, a cohesion between one sentence and the other. There is no particular structure of the sentence. So according to him, that's the lack of style. And the last but not the least, false treatment or lack of passion means a kind of writing which cannot invoke any kind of emotion. That writing is a bad writing. So if you go and watch some kind of popular movies with all the fightings and all those stuff, it is basically a bad movie. So it's basically a bad literature. It's basically, it doesn't gives you something to think about. But when you see the Shawshank Redemption, you come up and you sit on your bed and you think this guy was digging tunnel, and he gives a message, he gives a statement that hope is a good thing, maybe the best thing ever, and some good things never die. So the writings which stays on you forever and ever, and which makes you to go back to this particular thing, particular writing once again to discover something new, that's sublime, that's classic. And John Milton, the famous blind poet, he was a great worshipper of Longinus. According to him, he was the best teacher one could have. So that's it. We have come to the end of the first chapter, that is in ancient criticism. Thank you, guys and girls, for being with me. I hope you have liked the lecture. If not, just let me know. We can always, come back and rectify our mistakes. That's the beauty of criticism. It points out your mistakes. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye bye.